You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Learn more at wearelibertarians.com.
Welcome to the Boss Hog of Liberty podcast. This is episode number 444 of East Central's favorite podcast, Suck It Playbook Podcast. I'm Jeremiah Morrill, joined by executive video producer and audio engineer, Mr. Zach Burcham. Dakota Davis is not here today, so we found Bones Harcourt.
Howdy ho.
Welcome.
Glad to be here.
I'm so happy you're here. You look in the part. Very, very nice dress today.
Thank you.
With your Oakley and your new Boss Hog Richardson hat.
Mm-hmm.
That's Trent's company, Trent Richardson, the old running back. No, it could be. I don't know. He'd be better at making hats than he was at running a football. Or Anthony Richardson, for that matter. He's not been doing much anyway.
Touching that subject.
That's just for Ian to get worked up over. Ian is here. He's going to be sharing. I'm just teeing him up. I'm just putting some quarters in the machine, see if I can get it fired up because my voice has been gone since Sunday. We're going to be talking about his inaugural Indianapolis 500 experience and anything else that comes to mind. Episode 444. Do you guys remember the old Indy Star phone number?
No.
444-4444.
444 is a cubic inch number for a Ford 7.3 diesel.
This is an important episode. That's what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
We're going to talk Indy 500, why I don't have a voice, along with the minor case of illness. And politics just kind of spurned up when I was trying to have a drunken, debaucherous weekend. The Secretary of State's race decided to completely implode and entertain everybody. An Indiana favorite son now has a major new job, and we're going to talk a little bit of additional sports at the back end of the show. This show is about our lives in rural Indiana. We're here to push your boundaries and make you think as individuals. Sometimes we'll provoke you, other times we'll make you laugh, but hopefully you'll always learn something new. We did a Patreon today. We learned that Mr. Bones brought us nothing, and we learned that the Germans don't really change things that much.
No. But on my travels,
yes,
my road trip, I saw a lot of Walnut Ridge RVs on the road. I don't know if they are, but they I wanted to assume they are.
The Brinkleys.
Yeah, the Brinkleys. So shout out Tommy Oaks there, really supplying the highways south of Indiana with Brinkleys and updated RVs. So go see Tommy about another one that you'll fit right in down south. If you get one and you need to tow a car behind it, Jonathan Phillips is your man over at Ed Martin Honda. You're not the only one that can't talk tonight.
We're in trouble. I got to hang out with John in the infield for the Indy 500 on Sunday morning. He was out there hanging out with my brother.
Oh, nice.
And I said, hey, there's some big Acura sponsorship in this too. He's like, we got Acuras too. Ooh. So not just the Hondas. They can get you an Acura.
And so now that you're an RV owner with a card being towed behind it, now you and the missus or your partner, I'm not putting labels on anybody, can get dressed up alike. And you get your supplies over there at Varsity Outfitters.
Get your matching vacation shirts.
Yeah. And if you need a bicycle to ride on vacation, go see Pops Recycle down there in Rush County. And unfortunately, you may be visiting family members that have since passed away and their headstones need cleaned. Memorial monument cleaning.
It was just Memorial Day weekend.
Good time to clean things.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
But remember,
tombstones, not people.
Exactly.
There we go. That is the tagline. Great job, Mr. Bones.
Thank you.
Patreon.com/BossHoggerLiberty at any level to
suck it, Forrest.
Oh, that was uncalled for. Wow. Did you pent up rage after being gone for a week or two?
Yeah. He butchered that so bad. I can't take a week off.
Maybe next time you take a week off, we'll have you pre-record the segment and let Zach play it for him.
Sounds good.
That way you get it right. If you are a patron, you are how this show gets on the air each and every week. You pay for all of the back end costs for us to have internet in here, us to have the equipment, the power, the lights, the building, all of that stuff it's because of the patrons. So they get that extra 15, 20, 25 minutes of of show, and they also get the show notes sent to them ahead of time and extra fun little stuff with us along the way.
Sometimes it's complete debauchery, and sometimes it's pleasant conversations.
It's always pleasant with you.
Always.
All right. So last week we had the Indianapolis 500 preview show. Had the notes over here. Bones, you had Pato. He had a top 5. Congratulations. That wasn't a winner, but you had that one right. Ian, you had David Malukas. Closest finish in the history of the race. You almost had a win.
Listen, I'm still not over it.
You were so damn close.
You're the closest without winning in history.
Feels good to be Scott Goodyear around here. I had Alex Pillow. That looked good for a while, and then it didn't. Zach, you chose Felix Rosenqvist.
Yep.
It's the first time you've won one of these.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And my dark horse was his teammate who was doing pretty well. He ended up in 5th.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the Acura that was leading as the white flag came out.
Yes. I'm thankful.
You absolutely killed it.
I'm thankful he chose not to take his teammate out in trying to win the race, which apparently he said was his other option besides what he did.
Pretty good at the prediction game around here.
A couple of us really good. Others, not so much.
Well, when there's 5 cars in the first 0.05 seconds, yeah, there's a lot of people pretty close.
Mike McCown said Ryan Hunter-Ray.
I have a question. Did he finish?
No, he was the first car to crash.
He was the first car to crash.
Lap 18, he lost it, and he took out poor Catherine Legg.
He took out Catherine Legg, but somehow because Catherine was behind him, Catherine ended up being the first out, lowest finishing car.
I can't say enough, though. That is the best looking car we've had in a long time.
Oh, the Catherine Legg car?
Yeah.
The elf
It was
car
gorgeous.
It was gorgeous. It was a great looking car.
Zach and I saw that car rolling through the garage area before
every time
that
just
anything
kind of
on
stop
it.
and stare.
It was still just a black
Well,
carbon
you know what's
fiber
weird
machine.
though is she'd had her car on track because she'd been it was wrapped for the open test.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they
had
took
to
it
get
off.
rewrapped.
I guess. But yeah, gorgeous car. Felt bad for her.
Ian, you attended your first Indy 500.
Pop that cherry.
You were excited to do it. You had you been to the Speedway other than to run around it as an athlete?
Yeah, whenever I was in high school, I ran cross country and we went and cleaned up after everybody's mess.
Okay, so you've never been a paid spectator to anything out there. Tell me how your day went. Let's start with that. What time did y'all get up? You parked in the infield somewhere.
Yep.
How'd this go down?
So woke up at 4 o'clock. We stayed with my wife's cousin.
In the city?
Kind of like Broad Ripple area, I guess. I don't know. I didn't really look at the geographical area
That's
where
in
we
the
were
city.
at.
Somewhere inside 465.
Okay.
You're in the loop. Yeah, you're in the city.
I'm not a frequent Indy goer. Anyway, woke up at 4. We went and met up with the rest of the group of people. We were heading towards the track and we thought we were going to get in about 7, and we were in traffic for absolutely forever. I don't think we got into the track and parked at turn 4 until maybe 8:45, 9ish. I mean, we were in it for a while. It was
Now, did you guys try to come in on 16th Street or from the north? How did you guys get routed into the track?
So we could have turned left on Georgetown. So I guess it would have been.
We're coming from the north.
Yeah, we come from the north. Yeah, and it was absolutely asinine. It was terrible.
Which is the best way to come in? Either from Georgetown or
Helicopter.
We're not
Honestly,
wake up there.
honestly, anymore, I don't know because I've been camping for, I don't know, 15 years, 15, 20 years. I don't know, not 20.
I would say
12 to 15 years.
if I was force ranking the 3 options to get into the track, number 1 would be 30th Street from the east. I would take 30th Street from the east and come in. Second, I would take 16th Street and go in gate 2 from the south. And third, I would do what Ian did and come down Georgetown Road from the top.
Yeah. We when we did drive in, we came 38th Street, turned left immediately at the bottom of the ramp, and then came in and took Falcon Drive from 34th to 30th Street, which drops you like
close to the North
a
40.
half, like a city block east of the 30th Street entrance, and turn right there. And that way you couldn't be stuck too far back on, because 30th goes forever. So you try to drop yourself as close as you can.
Can you You can make it in on 16th Street though, right?
Yes.
Yes.
If you have a pass for the infield, yes, absolutely.
So that's what I would do.
That's
so
what
that
Forrest does.
If you do like have to stop,
My
hopefully
brother
you're
said,
stopping around Long's Bakery and you can grab donuts.
yeah, and that's usually the worst case scenario back in the day when I would do that. That's kind of where I would start to hit traffic.
Right where you
Would be
cross the
right
river.
around the bridge,
And that's
a couple miles.
mile and a half away
Ish. Yeah, and sometimes you get as close as like the railroad tracks, depending upon when you would roll in. But my brother said it was very quick for him when he came in this time, and he came in on the.
There were some
16th Street
reports of like people getting stuck in a mess, and then there were reports online. Did your car get searched?
Yeah.
On the way in, like
So
how
that was-
thoroughly?
Yeah, we had to. So whenever I guess that's part of the next part of the story. Whenever we pulled in, like we were going to go down underneath the track, they told us to turn our car off, and that's when the dog came on both sides.
So there were reports online that some cars got through without being searched, and that they literally just shut everything down and tracked those cars down. I don't know how they would do that, but that's it. When we would stay in the North 40, I never did infield, and that's getting harder and harder to do. And then last time I drove in, there was no Department of Homeland Security searching cars. That was not the.
I think that was the problem with the with the North Gate.
Yeah, that's why I heard. Yeah,
they had that security's foobar, and it screwed up a bunch of people. So you got in. Did you guys tailgate in the infield, or did you walk around? What was the plan?
So we tailgated for a little bit. I cannot sit still. It's probably because I got ADHD. So me and my probably fifth beer decided to go walk around to the shop.
Solo.
Yep. Obviously my wife was on crutches. So that was her first Indy 500 experience and on crutches. I just kind of soaked it all in the first beginning half. I'd never been down there. I just wanted to explore. I went and bought the girls some shirts. I bought my wife a shirt. And
so you had like the mass of people experience of trying to get through like vendors on like the one day where I'm like, do not go get vendors on this day. You were fighting the crowds doing it.
Yeah, but I really, in all honesty, I got in and got out. Like it wasn't too bad at all. I also cut like 50 people just because I was acting like I was looking at shit, but I really wasn't. I just was like, I'm gonna slide in here. Fuck them.
All right. Very good. All right. Did you get a driver t-shirt?
I didn't buy myself anything.
You're wearing a hat. Where'd the hat come from?
I ordered this prior.
All right.
The hat that I wanted was in the McLaren tent, and the line was forever. So
gotcha. Trying to buy one of those Hendrick 1100 hats. All right. So you guys made your way to your seats and they were turn 2 seats somewhere on the south end.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long way from parking in turn 4.
I paid $100 for
rickshaw.
For the dudes on the bicycles to take me and my wife back and forth, which was a blessing on the way back to the car because it started raining.
Yeah. That's a premium tip, man.
Yeah, you're doing really well. Because I've never understood how those work.
Well, I did notice when I was in the infield that they have like it's free, but they have a suggested fee on them, I think. And it was like $20 makes us happy. $50 makes us very happy kind of a thing.
The second guy, I work with his girlfriend. So I was like, I'll take care of it because it's one pouring down rain. And I mean, you're biking from turn 2 to turn 4 while weaving in and out of traffic.
Yeah.
That's got to be a mess to get out of there.
Yes. The closer you are to the track, the more you should just not even plan on getting out fast.
2.5 hours.
Everybody leaves at the same time.
2.5 hours from the end of a race till you were
all the foot traffic has to be out of the way before they open the gates to let cars go. The closer you park, the worse your departure
you guys
is.
are not really selling this experience.
No, I mean, but like the key is to have something to eat and something to do after the race. It's like even when like last year, fun thing I did, and I probably mentioned on the show, is like my brother didn't camp, so he was parked with us where the campers were, and he left right away. So I got my charcoal grill fired up with a chimney. Don't even use lighter fluid. Just let the chimney warm up. Charcoal's ready. Flipped it. Cooked some burgers and brats. He had left this whole time. He's gone. And then I took my brat, put some mustard on it, and then I walked the quarter mile to where he was, because that's as far as he'd gotten, and ate my brat while talking to him in the traffic that he was stuck in. So you just have something to do afterwards, and you chill, and you can kind of sit and watch. In our case, we can see Georgetown Road from And when you start to see vehicular traffic moving, you're like, okay, I'm good. I can leave. And you can leave.
So you guys don't leave that night though.
No, my brother did. And I had before. It kind of depends. But anymore, I've just kind of decided, start packing up, be ready to go, try and get out by like 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning.
We watched the replay, hang out, enjoy it.
It was a gorgeous evening. Like after the rain, there was a little bit of rain that came through. And then after that, it turned into an absolutely gorgeous evening.
So I could technically park next to you guys.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And
hang
just
out with
chill.
you.
Yeah.
Or even like my cousin found a yard nearby and she pays a little bit less than it would cost to park a car in our lot and just parks it there and says, hey, you can park me in. I'm going to be an hour or two after the race is over. And then she goes and gets her car later. So, because there's a bunch of yards around us, like there's a million houses around us you can park in.
Yeah. That's what I always tell people is they can either try to park in the campground with us, which Chase and Katie Payton got a free weekend of parking because they would never collect the money from them.
Yeah.
Or find anybody in the neighborhood, just park over there.
A lot of them, you can like text them and reserve a spot and pay with PayPal or Venmo or whatever. Those people are the people in the immediate vicinity of our camping lot are very organized in how they do the parking and stuff. They know what they're doing.
This is Indy 500 401 right here.
That's what we're here for.
Well, and the thing is, like he was saying, I mean, yeah, it was been impossible for us to go anywhere an hour after the race. So we threw up burgers on the grill, hot dogs on the grill. We sat there. I think we finally rolled out of the track at 6:45. Got right out. I mean,
we would wait in the infield until the state police would come around and be like, "Hey, you guys, get out of here. It's time."
Yeah.
I've been told by the state police, "Hey, leave the infield now," because I had no interest in fighting traffic.
There's a certain luxury in when the race ends, not being in a hurry to leave, because there's a whole bunch of people that are in a mad dash to leave, and they won't watch the last lap. And like if you left with 8 laps to go or 10 laps to go,
it'd be miserable.
How pissed are you that you spent that money? Because like average tickets, like cheapest tickets are probably like 75, and most of them are like 125, 150, and you miss the greatest finish in Indy 500 history. Yeah, so if you can just hang around, cool.
So, not getting to the race yet, but the pre-race, I want to go through that for you, Ian. You got helicopters, which has become it's softly becoming treated as a tradition. 2 years in a row now, we've had these helicopters flying over the cars.
The first year they don't do it, there's going to be complaints.
I did see people complaining already that this is dangerous and we should not be doing this with helicopters. It's not safe above the cars and the people.
That's what's so amazing about it, is because it doesn't. I was telling somebody this doesn't seem like something that we do in America. This very much seems like something we do in like a militaristic third world country where they want to flex.
It feels very Mexican.
Yeah, Russian something. It feels very. We're not worried about lawsuits here.
The only way it could get worse if we had the helicopters going around while the race was going.
Yes, but they're over the track. They're not. I mean, given if something went wrong, they probably would careen into the stands. But they were practicing. We watched them practice on Saturday, and I'll be honest, watching them practice, it looked like they had to work their nerves up to like they were coming in and they were pulling up before they got to the front straightaway.
They would go lower and lower and lower.
Yeah, so we watched them and they were lower and lower and holding on longer and longer before they pulled up. So I think that they were even having to, I don't know if it's the same crew from last year, but I bet they want to see how the rotor wash works once they get down the front straightaway. But yeah, it is one of those things you're like, this doesn't seem safe, but it's awesome.
So the national anthem, Jordan Sparks sang it.
Awesome.
She did a great job. The flyover was very mistimed. I don't know if you guys did that.
Yes.
I was annoyed by it enough that I was like, damn, that kind of sucked, because it was like halfway through the song.
I saw it coming. I was like, this is too early. This is too early. And I'm like, yeah, they were a whole line early. It was cool.
They had a new thing this year, which they got rid of the balloons after Back Home Again in Indiana. And everybody's like, man, they kind of missed that. But they added another flyover in that place. But I think it was the bombs bursting in air. You had this drone show explosion that created an American flag that was like, it was like the color run dust that popped up, and it made an American flag over the backstretch.
That was huge, wasn't it?
It was enormous.
I couldn't, for some reason I was distracted. I didn't see how that thing started. I saw the end of it and I just wished, I was like, man, I wish they'd fly something through that, but I bet it would kill it and then that would crash. But yeah, that was very cool. It hung over the track for quite a while. Yeah, that was very cool.
Yeah, it slowly floated back towards you guys in turn 4.
Yeah, just kind of hazed the entire north end of the track.
But that was a cool surprise. Jim Nabors used to sing Back Home in Indiana, and he sang it from like 1972. He missed a little bit of the 80s. And then he sang it like from 87 until 2014 when he was physically unable to perform the song anymore. Famously, when he did it the first time, he had written himself a note of the lyrics on his hand before he sang the song. And I learned the song from listening to Jim Nabors sing it. So every time somebody has sings Jim Nabors, I think they sing the wrong lyrics to the damn song because I know Jim Nabors lyrics. And there's this candlelight burning bright or shining bright. And Jim sang the wrong damn lyrics for 40 years of the track. And I didn't know it. And I finally dug into it because I'm like, this Corneliuson guy is pissing me off not singing it the way Jim sings it. And then they built this roundabout in Speedway. They reconfigured the roundabout and they put the lyrics to the song in. I'm like, God damn it, they did it the way the new guy does it. And I looked it up, and Neighbors had been doing the wrong lyrics for 40 years, and I didn't know.
I'm really shocked that wasn't like a fun fact that everybody knew. That you just, by the way, he kind of.
It's what happens when you live in Hawaii for the last 40 years of your life.
I mean, but like, there's all kinds of weird
himself.
There's all kinds of weird stuff that they would say, but you'd think that one of them would be like, oh, by the way, he has his own lyrics. He's butchered it, but nobody cares because he's Gomer
Which version
Pyle.
are we seeing? Are we seeing the Jim Nabors version, or are we seeing the Cornelius?
Right. And then there were a couple in between where I think the
Straight No Chaser.
Yeah, Straight No Chaser, the IU boy band sang it, and then there was a group of kids that sang it at one point.
IU boy band.
It's what it is.
It's not
the acapella group.
Yeah.
Am I wrong, Ian?
You're not wrong.
You're
All right.
wrong.
I think they're good with Jim Corneliuson. I think he'll be around for a while.
He's in the Neighbors.
He's done it for a decade now.
Yeah.
I think he did it like 2017 on or whatever.
He's getting into it.
Yeah, he's got the job. And then the America the Beautiful, I thought was the highlight of the whole damn thing.
He did awesome.
That was so good.
Yeah.
So, did you get the feels through this? Were you feeling patriotic, Ian, or were you like, oh, this is dumb?
No, I definitely felt it. I mean, it was kind of hammered into my brain. Obviously, you said it, Mike said it. I mean, it was back-to-back shows last week of the pre-race show is like such a monumental thing.
It's going to get you in the feels.
Yeah, and I felt it, but like it's not that if you didn't feel it, like you shouldn't even be at the track.
I felt it sitting on the couch at home.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And I understand it now. Like I get it. Like I get why it's such a big race. I get why it's such a spectacle. And it was everything that I could have imagined it to be leading up to a race.
So I do have a question for you attendees. Since I watched it at home, where are they singing before they're doing all the patriotic stuff? There's someone who was singing on TV, and Fox, I thought was just doing their pregame stuff throughout this, all the monumentals, the important stuff.
So they perform taps, and that happens on this year. They did tap. They spread things arout in a number of different venues.
Circle.
It was taps this time was on the flag stand.
Oh, with the flag stand?
Yeah.
So they showed taps. They showed.
Oh, the 21 gun salute was on the.
They showed that.
Yeah.
They showed the big songs: "Star Spangled Banner," "Back Home Again," "Indiana," "America the Beautiful." What was they singing before that? Is my question.
I think that's all that was performed.
There was somebody singing.
Ooh. I mean, they played Purdue was out there playing a lot. I'm trying to think of what they did, if they did anything before then.
Were they on the track?
Purdue, they marched a lap early. They're out there all morning.
What he's talking about?
Yeah.
Were they on the track?
They were on the track singing, because I thought it was going to be one of the important songs, and Fox
And then they were going to miss it.
Yeah, because I'm not going to lie, Fox's pregame, absolute dog shit.
They could do without Tony Stewart, Danica Patrick, and Chris Myers.
Yeah,
Chris Myers is absolute.
They don't need
worst.
them. They're just extra, and they don't need Rob Gronkowski either. Their helicopter shot did not work out as well at all.
What was Rob even doing there?
Showing the
like
pro culture, man.
He's Fox's version of the Kelsey brothers.
Was he the Grand Marshal of the Snake Pit or something? Or he was a Snake Pit guy.
Yeah,
that's what Rob is. He is the Fox is equivalent to Kelsey brothers. We're just going to get force fed them at every sporting event. Just my hot take.
No, that's fine. So yeah, the infield was, all of that stuff was great. There was the threat of rain throughout the entire morning and afternoon where we were just concerned.
I want to talk about that.
I
The weather.
According to the weather people, we weren't racing on Sunday.
There was somebody, and I can't find it because I'm a petty AF dude. And I would hunt them down and shade them on Facebook. Somebody thought on Saturday, he's like, why don't we just call it tomorrow and just go Monday? Just
do it now.
Just call it off. Call the whole thing off. There's no way we're getting this done. And Carb Day was kind of the same. Like Carb Day was like, oh, this is doomsday. This is doomsday. And Carb Day, like we got
full practice.
They got everything.
We got the Weenie 500
everything
in.
that was important in, because the pit stop competition is. I've never been a huge fan of the way they execute it for fans that are there. Isn't great. And so the next day, what did we get? A total of like 12 minutes of rain. It felt like that little shower blew through not long after the race, and that was
we had
it.
sprinkles during the race twice.
Yeah.
And I had friends in different parts of the track, and it was like, hey, it's dry in 4. Well, it's raining in 3, or it's sprinkling in 3, or I feel nothing in turn 2.
There was like, we had one where it was like you'd feel a drip, drip, drip. And then there was one time where it felt like somebody behind me had sprayed a Mr. bottle on me for like 10 seconds, and then it was over. But both of those resulted in some kind of flag being thrown for a few minutes.
Weather-wise, though, bar the rain,
Great weather.
had to be the best weather
Fantastic.
for a long while watching the 500s.
Totally comfortable.
Especially if you're uncovered out on the grandstands.
We haven't had a hot Indy 500 in a while.
Man, we're knocking on. My gosh,
Knocking on wood.
Yeah.
We haven't had one of them 92-degree pure sun races
I
in a
remember
while.
one where it wasn't an official record, but somebody's like Firestone just clocked 96 degrees in the infield or something like that. Like, so yeah, we have the last couple of years we've had. Remember, this was the second year in a row I didn't use my air conditioning the entire month while camping.
Yeah, same. And I pull the trigger on the AC a lot earlier than Zach does, and we did not need it either.
I mean, actually, I did not need to use my generators the entire month. The race weekend, I turned on for a minute so April could watch the race. And then GP weekend, I never even plugged them in. So it was a weekend I ran off a solar panel. And then my kids were mooching off Jeremiah's internet.
I didn't know that.
I mean, I think they are, because I would be like, how do you get internet, buddy? He's like, Jeremiah's.
Yeah.
So Jackson's tablet has been connected to the Wi-Fi over at the Laurels.
Jackson makes friends.
And then some of the time, if we were close enough, they would actually still pick up the Wi-Fi from the track, because the track has Wi-Fi. And they'd be like, yeah, I'm pulling track Wi-Fi or whatever. So,
could you follow the strategies of the race and what was going on, Ian?
So I finally understood them. There were, I think 3 different strategies going, and I guess none of them really worked out. The fastest car all of May won the race. I mean, essentially, but I could understand more than what I did come January.
Yeah.
Like I picked up on it.
I think it was a lot simpler than it has been, because it didn't really deviate until fairly late in the race and start. Like, what was it, 1:30 or something like that? There was a caution, and they're like, that was when they started to kind of split. And
Yeah,
sometimes they'll start splitting early, and then they'll start splitting off of splitting, and you're like, there's no idea. But this one was really down to like 2 strategies, and they kind of formed up at the end, and you figured out what was going on. So
almost all the leaders made 6 pit stops, except for I think Romain Grosjean somehow made 8 throughout the day, and I think he still wound up in the top 10.
There's a lot of those guys that like.
I'm just going to top off just in case. Top off just in case. The 2 strategies came together, though, and it wound up being, Malukas was on one. Malukas, Pillow, and Daly were all on one, where they had to go at the end. And they were trying to make up a bunch of time. And Malukas was the only one of those that really was able to do it. And then you got the red flag for Kyle Collette hitting the wall massively.
Fireball.
Which, by the way, people were bitching about the red flag coming out online.
I knew it was coming.
We can't do this. Why? What are we red flagging?
I knew that red
We've
flag
been doing
was,
that since 2022.
Yeah. They've set out parameters by which they will do a red flag at the end of the race. They're consistent with it. I like the result. Therefore, I'm fine with it. I was not shocked when I was like, oh yeah, this is about that window. I was kind of curious if we were a little bit too inside the window, but they've kind of talked like 8 to 12 laps. If they got a caution and they think they can get it going again, they'll red
At the
flag
same
it.
time, he took up most of the track with the debris. And
That was a
his
huge
car.
wreck too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there had to be fluids everywhere because
He didn't have much control over it at that point.
No.
That was a break your. Sebastian Bourdais had a similar accident and he broke his hip, shattered his hip in that accident. Just massive. Just
I felt that one.
all of the car just pushes through
Yeah.
the wall.
That was right in front of us.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, you could hear it. Like once the car hit the wall, boom. Like it.
Did you feel the heat?
You were down in the action end of the track for sure. There was very little happened in front of me as far as accidents were concerned. The only other really big one, I think, was Joseph Newgarden in turn 3. Or either turn 4.
Turn 4.
He caught the curb. I was listening to Alex Blow's radio at the time, and Alex was like, "Did he catch the curb?" And the team came back and said, "Oh, he caught all of the curb."
Yeah, I think he had the whole tire on the curb
Why is that curb even there?
to keep them from going down there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
To keep them from cutting the track,
And I think it's
driving through the grass.
yeah. And do they have a different one or did it get worse for NASCAR? Because I know that the IndyCar curbs don't really do much for NASCARs. And so sometimes the curbs, I don't know if they run a different
There was
one.
an era before the warm-up lanes where everything was paved down there, and the race cars would not even drive.
The apron.
They would not even. They would drive Indianapolis without even driving on the racetrack in the corners. They would just cut it and drive on the apron all the way around. And people didn't like that, so they moved it up.
You'll hear that. Bring back the apron. They'll make the racing better.
And they also said the crash angle was much worse.
Yeah, I think
when you
the
crashed
Cup
apron.
wants the apron back, but the Indy cars, if they hit that, then they tend to hit the wall engine first, and that's not good.
Was Felix
gearbox.
on the Pato and
Yes. So
on that
Felix,
strategy?
Felix is on that strategy.
He was saving some till the very end, or till
Felix
close to the end.
had like a couple laps better fuel than Pato, but they were on essentially the same strategy. But Felix had more in the tank at that point. And he was, before the Kyle Collette one, he was probably going to just drive to a quote unquote easy win. And then everything stacked back up. The yellow came out. There was another quick yellow for Mick Schumacher having an incident. I did want to say on the Joseph Newgarden thing, there were audible boos in my section for Joseph Newgarden, or cheers when he
People
crashed.
said, yes, my section too. Multiple people.
Which
Mick Schumacher. Mick
You're a
Schumacher.
back-to-back winner.
Well, you're back to back.
Cheater.
Well, yeah, who cheated and lied about it. Mick Schumacher actually had an impact on the race win too, because he unlapped himself and got out in front of Felix and saved Felix some fuel, because that was one of the things that nobody wanted to lead because you burned so much fuel. So they were doing a lot of swapping.
same
So
thing
Mick
happened
just-
last year in
so
below
Mick
one,
just-
and everybody complained about
Yeah,
it.
so Mick just sat up there and took the heat, burned a little more fuel so that Felix could get to the finish.
Yeah, watching on TV and not knowing.
In a
That's-
sketchy pass, by the way. Mick's pass was pretty gutsy and nobody knew he was coming. So that was fun.
Watching at home and knowing as little as I know, nobody wanted to be in the lead. If you were in the lead, you had the lead for a half a lap. And then see ya.
They set the record. They only count a lead change at the yard of bricks. So whoever's leading at the yard of bricks, if it's different than the lap before, then that lap had a lead change. There were a number of times where there were lead changes that were not official lead changes. The previous record was 68. I think it was set in 2013. This time it was 70. So we had the most lead changes in the history of the race. I think we had 14, 15 different leaders. So half the cars led the race. And obviously the interval was the closest in the history of the Indy 500. And I think the 14th or 15th closest in Indy car history as well.
Yeah.
Just crazy. So yeah, the last lap, you got a one lap shootout. Marcus Armstrong was leading, coming to the white flag. David Malukas passes him, jumps around him right at the start finish line. And then Rosenquist runs side by side with Armstrong for an entire 3/4 of a lap.
What was it? I heard they said on trackside 24 seconds, 23 or 24 seconds. They were next to each other.
Yeah. Team cars just terrifying the car owner. The team is just shitting bricks as this is happening. And then they're on our side of the track. I'm yelling, calling the race for Sarah, basically. Just I don't know why, but
I thought they were. I'm like, they're giving it away.
I'm like, Malukas is going to win this. Malukas is going to win
they're
this.
giving it away.
And then it was like the end of the Kentucky Derby coming down the stretch, where all of a sudden Rosenquist just found speed.
He clears them, and
in the draft.
I saw him on 4 pull out and go. And I was like, and then you thankfully big TVs everywhere. You get to see the finish. But I was like, yeah, lost my voice in the end of that race.
there's a tunnel that we go under 50 times during the month that goes between the Pagoda Plaza and Lot 2 where we enter the track. Malukas was leading there, Zach. That tunnel, it was the Rosenquist had the lead for feet. It was so close.
He motored by him though. So much momentum.
Yeah.
It was crazy to see because I was like, yeah, he's not gonna. There's no way. And all of a sudden he got him. And I'm like, I'm not a super Malukas fan. He seemed like a nice guy. He handled it very well. But I'm just kind of like a too soon pay your dues kind of guy. He was comforted by the bosom of his girlfriends.
We had a lot of fun with those pictures.
Yeah.
I've been standing in the grandstand. Sarah's like, he looks so sad. And I'm like, Sarah,
I've been shattered. I mean, yeah. Tell my wife I'm sad all the time.
I'm devastated for little Dave.
So let me ask you a question. Obviously, because I'm new into this.
Yeah.
Do you think that it would have made any bit of difference if Malukas would have waited to pass turn 2 right in front of us? Do you think it would have made any difference? Or if you would have passed him on the backstretch?
He probably wouldn't have had the momentum. There probably would have been a giant wreck. If he didn't go when he went, there probably would have been a giant wreck on the front stretch because he had waited and everybody would have piled into the back of him going into turn 1.
Because that was a 5-car shootout.
Yeah.
And because if you
third, fourth, and fifth were side by
the
side.
picture of first and second is impressive. The picture of third, fourth, and fifth is insanity because they're all in the shot at the same time. They're side by side. Those guys you had to take your opportunity and hope for the best because there were 4 cars coming after you.
I think the only thing Malukas could have done differently is he tried to not let Rosenquist go down low. So he preventatively went low to keep him from going there, which gave him the space he needed. A lot like Marco Andretti in 2006, about all he could have done was cause a giant crash on the front stretch. And I don't think anybody wants to win the Indy 500 in a steaming pile on the front straightaway.
Yeah.
But I think that would have been the only thing he could have done. And then you would have had a giant officiating mess of avoidable contact and whatever had happened. It would have been a huge controversy and a mess and a bunch of pissed off people in an accident.
So somebody pointed out that ultimately Felix was in a position where he was going to win that race, and then they had the red and they had the caution and stuff like that, and the track, and that Felix he was the chosen winner, and it happened. By whatever happenstance, it happened. So, and yeah, crazy, and he's super popular. He's well liked in his paddock.
It's only his second win in the IndyCar series.
Yeah, only second win for his team.
By the way, though, ugliest car.
I am not huge on that car. I think it was literally circumstance that during the month Morgan Wallen came through town.
He was there the Grand Prix weekend.
He was in town, and so I think that's one of the reasons why they chose that. But they've done some wicked cool liveries for that car.
So
and they're doing a different one this week.
This weekend it's M&M in Detroit.
Oh,
it's the M&M
Shadow,
channel.
whatever. But yeah,
Shade 45.
That's it, exactly. Yeah. It's a black and white car.
So I was
great. It would have been a phenomenal winning car.
No, I'll say this though: the Morgan Wallen car, I couldn't tell you Morgan Wallen's song "Save My Life" looks a lot better in person than it does on TV because
he's got this song called "Let's Throw a Chair Off the Roof."
Somebody should have done that. Somebody should have thrown a chair off the roof.
The experience.
No. I'm being a smart ass. Whiskey glasses, you wouldn't know.
There's like 20 something. There's one that's like 20 beers or 20 glasses or something like that.
20 cigarettes.
20 cigarettes. Yeah, I've heard about that one. But the car did look better in person. It was a bit more shiny.
Just camo type.
Yeah. What happened to Scotty Mac?
Finished third.
I know, but he was right there for a long period, just battling first, second.
I think what you heard, or what I kind of heard was, I've heard interviews with Felix. I haven't heard as many with Malukas. Both of those cars were very good out front and also very good in traffic. And so I think that what it came down to is that those 2 cars were going to end up first and second and giving the opportunity because they were the only ones that could drop back a little bit and then work their way back up. And so I think I don't know, Sky Mac, I think if you give him another lap or 2, he might have been in the picture. But I think the 2 fastest cars were the 2 were finished first and second.
This car is retiring at the end of next year's race, I think.
Well, that's the plan.
It's been going since 2012, this chassis.
Dang near old enough. It's old enough to. It'll be old enough to drive.
It's
by
had
the time
some-
it gets retired.
It's had some modifications though.
It's been tweaked.
Yeah.
Well, it's on its like third iteration.
Yeah, but it has produced the most ridiculously good racing at the Speedway that I don't know what
Ironically,
the next
the-
generation is going to be.
It looked a lot this time like it did in the first iteration of the car. It does really well at Indy and when it's cooler. If it's a hot and sloppy race, it's not as good. But if it's in the 70s, then it races very well. And luckily, we've had a couple years in a row where it's been cool for the race. I think if it was 94, I think it'd be garbage. I think it'd just be single file.
So, Ian, did you sit in the stands and wait on the milk drinking and the wreath to go on and all of that stuff, or did you guys immediately try to go back to your seats?
No, we stood up there. I didn't pay attention to it. I was too heartbroken to pay attention to any of that shit.
You're sad about Malukas.
There
were some financial difficulties for not winning.
There was. I'll also show you the video of me in the last lap because obviously my wife, like Zach, picked Felix to win. So I don't know what was worse, the fact that she picked the winner or the fact that like I lost to her and she has no idea. The only thing she knew is what information I fed her.
I was cheering so loud, and April had befriended a girl in front of us who was like a senior in college. I think she's gonna be a teacher, and she had her Maluka shirt on. I felt kind of bad. She looked confused and dejected by what had just happened, and like everybody else was celebrating because it was he's a popular guy, and I think Malukas will be that guy in a couple years when he's a little bit older. He's been through it a couple times, and he'll probably almost for sure.
He's going to win a race.
He's going to win one because he's a Penske guy. He'll be back. They'll be good. So he's probably going to get one at some point. But Felix's wife had a baby on 3 weeks before or whatever. So he had a great month.
The stars aligned.
He had the shittiest Grand Prix of Indianapolis ever, and it's all forgotten.
He got hit by. That's the craziest thing is I thought somebody was like, I barely remember the Grand Prix even happened. Like there was so much that happened, and he got hit. He hit so many people.
He cleaned out Pato in turn one, lap one, and then he got just absolutely just drilled, I think, by Stingray Robb in the race.
Yeah.
Anyway, great Indy 500.
They are really sad. I picked Pato and Ray Hall, and I didn't have any of those in my fantasy lineup. I did have Felix Starred and Malukas.
Oh yeah, you killed it there then.
Yeah.
Who is in the top 10?
Graham, they have a rough month of May once the road course is over.
I'm ninth.
I'm 5.
I'm now 7th. I fell to 7th.
I made a big jump this week
in the IndyCar Fantasy League. They're at the Trois this weekend.
Why do they have a race right?
Their thought process is we're in the news. Let's keep it going. Let's don't let the momentum die. And I think almost everybody else is like, can we please get a break?
I'm still tired, and I wasn't a participant.
Yes.
I was out at the track for 3 weekends in a row, and the thought of going up to Detroit this weekend to go be a part of that is an absolute non-starter.
Have you ever
couldn't imagine? Never to Detroit because it's historically they've stuck at the weekend after the 500. I'm just not doing it unless I lived in Michigan. If I lived in Wayne County, Michigan, yes, I would probably go over there for Saturday or Sunday. But I'm not driving 4 hours to go to that race this weekend.
The only more screwed up schedule is F1, who was in Canada this last weekend. Now they're in Monaco.
Yeah.
Can we just chill out here?
That's what they do.
They got money to burn.
That's what they do. They should just have taken the weekend off. And I think they are next year. I think next year.
This is a forced schedule because of the Middle East conflict.
No, the F2 race was.
Oh,
Canada was always going to be on this weekend. Little bit of politics here. The Indiana Secretary of State's race is heating up. While we were trying to enjoy our Memorial Day weekend, Jim Banks and Todd Rokita both changed their endorsements for Secretary of State to this dude that works for Senator Jim Banks, Max Enling. He's the new chosen candidate for the establishment Republicans because apparently they realized that Diego Morales is not the best candidate for the state of Indiana, most bones.
You know what the best part of this is, though? Diego already had flyers made out saying endorsed by Banks and Todd Rokita.
They hit
and
people's
sent 'em out.
mailbox this week. So
Does it say as of this a certain day on it?
No, it just
Expi-
says
expires-
endorsed by Todd
expires,
Rokita.
this coupon will self-destruct. I know you're not a real political guy, Ian, but this race is all of the drama of IndyCar politics. Secretary of State is the top race in the state of Indiana. When you go to vote this fall, you have no president, you got no governor, you got no senator to vote for. This is the top ticket race. Diego Morales has the job now. He's been raising money for 4 years. He's got like $1.2 million in the bank. There are 1,800 Republican delegates that are going to go to Fort Wayne June 20th and pick their person. And now you have to be a candidate by now. So now there are 4 candidates in the race. They were trying to convince Diego to drop out and quit. And they thought they had a deal. And there was this news report that said, hey, Diego's dropping out this afternoon. And instead that afternoon, Diego's like, I'm here to fight for the people of Indiana. I am not going anywhere.
The only thing that could have been better is if Abdul held on to that article saying that his chief of staff was
Assistant chief of staff.
assistant
to the chief of staff.
Yeah, was
Assistant
not
to the regional
a
manager.
citizen. If we just held on to this after the convention,
Nobody should be shocked.
and I just want to see if the Republicans actually had a spine.
No, they don't. He wouldn't be there now if they had a spine.
So there's this guy, Dave Shelton, who's been running. He's, I think, the Vincennes, Indiana. So the Knox County clerk.
Yeah.
He's been running for like a year and a half saying Diego sucks. There's another lady named Jamie Rittenauer who ran for governor, and she finished last in the governor's race a couple years ago. She's running. You've got this Max Engling and Diego Morales. So on that first ballot, you're going to have all 4 of those people. The Republican delegates historically don't like being told what to do, Bones. This is how they got Diego in the first place. This is how they got Micah Beckwith two years ago. So when the establishment says, hey, you need to pick somebody, they usually throw up the middle finger and say, screw you. So I think what's going to happen, this is my prediction.
Yep.
This Inling guy is going to come in first place on the first ballot, but have like 35 or 40% of the vote.
Not enough.
And then somebody's going to drop out. Whoever the lowest one is has to drop out. So either Diego or this Rittenauer person are going to go away. And then they're going to keep, I think that this Engling dude is going to cap out because there's only so many people that are going to want to go with what the establishment asked them to do. And you're going to see everybody go to this Dave Shelton dude, I think is what's going to happen.
So the best part of this,
2 or 3 ballots. And I think Shelton wins.
okay, so I'm going to go a little different direction. But the best part, though, is Morales and Engling can't vote. Neither one of them was elected delegate.
Oh yeah, didn't Diego get like 3% of the vote?
He finished like 18th of 20 people.
Him
in
and his wife
precinct.
did not get elected as delegates, and Engling did not get elected as a delegate.
Did Engling run?
Yes. According to somebody, he was on the...
I believe you.
yeah, he didn't get elected as a delegate.
Betsy Mills is a delegate. She was elected by Henry County. I spoke with her the morning of the Indianapolis 500 about this when she was hanging out in camp, and she will be texting us live updates. So we'll keep everybody informed as we find out how it goes.
But I think this is going to become Diego's going to be on the ticket.
You think Diego's going to continue on?
Yeah.
Zach, do you have a dream?
He needs to be gone. I just don't understand.
He needs to be gone, but I still want him on the ticket just to watch this
the
dumpster
list
fire.
of things this guy has done is so long and so clearly corrupt.
He's got $1 million in the bank that
How
people
much-
have
yeah,
given
how much
him
of
that
that was-
nobody can take from him.
But how much of that were like bonuses that he gave to his employees and asked them to give back? Because that was the thing he got in trouble for. He gave his employees bonuses and then said, hey, can you give me, he wanted them to tithe it back to him, like 10% of it back to him for campaign contributions.
Other news, Evan McMahon, the chairman of the Indiana Libertarian Party, he has just been elected the chairman of the National Libertarian Party. I've personally been very distant from the National Party and a lot of libertarian politics because it turned into an absolute dumpster fire in the last 4 years. Excited that Evan is back and the reasonable people have taken charge again. First thing they did was disaffiliate the state of New Hampshire, which had been #1 case of dickhead that was trying to shut the party down completely. So excited to see how that one works out. Evan is a long time reasonable advocate for libertarian policies, friend of the show, and looking forward to seeing what he does. All right, Mr. Ian, let's talk about hockey. You got a Lord Stanley's Cup is available, which you now do concede is the second best trophy in sports.
I can confirm that it is the second best trophy in sports. I can come out and say that.
Did you get to see the Borg Warner?
I didn't.
You didn't get that close.
Didn't get that close.
It gets paraded around the track the morning of.
Yeah, but
it's race day is a matter of survival.
Yep.
You can't try to get anywhere. There's people in the way the entire time. And I think you have an appreciation for what we've been trying to say on that front now.
I do. I understand. And like I said, I mean, whenever we first initially talked about this back in January, I didn't know the difference between my ass and a hole in the ground with IndyCar. And now, like, I get it. I understand. I can comprehend. But yeah, Lord Stanley it's the second best trophy in sports.
So it's going to be the Las Vegas Golden Knights.
They swept the Avs, which is
are they an expansion franchise, or were they somebody else?
Expansion franchise.
That's crazy that they're that good that early.
And they've been.
This is like their second or third time.
Their third time.
And they are probably facing. I came on your show and I made my predictions about who was going to come out of it, who my Stanley Cup champ was, and I had picked Montreal, which was an underdog big time. So was Vegas was like third in their division, I think. But they're probably
win team.
They're probably going down to the Carolina Hurricanes. They're down 3-1, and I think the last game is potentially the last game is tonight. So the Hurricanes are also they're a Canadian transplant, aren't they? Aren't they the Winnipeg Jets or something?
No, they still got the Winnipeg Jets.
I think the Winnipeg Jets are new. I think Zach can look at this up.
No, it used to be the Whalers.
The Hartford Whalers moved to
Yep.
they're now the Carolina Hurricanes.
Something like that. Yeah.
Zach, I think the Winnipeg Jets are a lot like the Cleveland Browns, where they existed, they went away, and then they came back.
Yeah, the Carolina Hurricane was Hartford Whalers.
Yeah. Hartford is a town with no big top 4 team anymore. Connecticut in general.
The thing is, what's not getting talked about enough is the fact that Vegas swept the Colorado Avalanche. Beat their ass.
Yeah.
That's not getting talked about enough. The best team on all of hockey gets swept. Like, unbelievable.
There's some real randomness in this year.
Yeah, like Montreal making it to the conference finals.
Yeah, Vegas wins. They'll be their second Stanley Cup in the first 10 years of their existence.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just won it 2 years ago.
Yeah, they started playing in 17.
That's like, well, I think the Avalanche won really early in their existence as well.
Is there like expansion draft pretty favorable to new teams? Do they have a draft where they pull players from other teams?
Kind of, but not really.
Was Vegas a completely new team, or they moved from somewhere?
They were completely new team.
Expansion team. All right, I'm looking up the Winnipeg Jets because nobody else did it for me. Were
they the Thrashers?
Yeah, they were the Atlanta Thrashers. All right, so they were the Atlanta Thrashers, and they became the Winnipeg Jets. Why are we on Winnipeg? I don't
Says they're still. It's everything I'm reading about
you
them.
Brought
is
up
in
Winnipeg.
I know.
You brought up
here we go.
Jets.
This is what it was. All right.
Connect the dots, please.
The Winnipeg Jets. I thought it was. That's where the. All right. Here's what happened.
Everything from them is in the present.
Here's what happened. I thought they were the Carolina Hurricanes. The original Winnipeg Jets lasted from 72 to 96, and then they went away. They became the Phoenix Coyotes. The Jets then came back.
Story
That's
a
big climate change. Yeah.
They then came back as the Atlanta Thrashers, played there from 99 to 11, and then the Winnipeg Jets came back. Everybody looks at me like I'm freaking crazy in this room.
I didn't look at you like you were crazy.
No. I just wanted you to connect the dots.
I just simply said,
we just flew from Indianapolis to Chicago via LA.
We went to Carolina. We went back to Carolina. Then we went to Hartford.
Now we're somewhere in Canada.
The Winnipeg Jets existed from 72 to 79. They then became the Phoenix Coyotes and then the Arizona Coyotes, and now they're an inactive organization. Hockey is so weird, man.
That's
Where things just go away.
Zach, that's another team. The Coyotes were basically relocated.
Yeah, to Utah, right?
Yeah, they got moved.
If you want to just read a wild story, read about the Arizona Coyotes ownership. It's wild.
And there's just the Utah Football Club, right?
What were their names going to be?
They're the Mammoth.
Yeah.
There were like 10 different names.
Yeah,
they
they
were
had
the
it.
Utah Hockey Club for a year.
Yep.
Which they were trying to do what the Commander Redskins did.
Did they have a name that was just so unspeakable that it was just unnamed team?
Just the Utah Mormons couldn't exist.
I don't pay that much attention to hockey.
The Honey Barons.
I'm the same until it gets this time of year, and then I can watch hockey.
I barely know what day it is the last couple of weeks. I have no idea. And when I get up on Saturday and don't have anything to do, I'm gonna be like, what has happened in my life?
You
Like,
can
I
help
won't
me
know what to
open
do
my
with
pool.
myself.
I got a pool cover to take off Saturday morning.
We'll see if I got a car broken.
It's a soft commitment.
Okay, Bones, you just said something made me think. You just said you don't watch hockey until it gets to the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Mhm.
Tell me about baseball.
It's the best, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I wouldn't say it's the best, but it's worth
It's up
watching.
there.
Yeah.
it's definitely a higher level.
Just because I'm not understanding how they keep a record going throughout the whole year. It's not based on wins and losses.
No, it's based off points.
yeah, which is
Overtime
like
wins.
This is now
That's
that's
very tangential to soccer, and God knows that Bones can't stand soccer.
I'll watch some soccer if it's the US team.
Well, good. Lucky for you, World Cup's coming up
Yeah.
like 2 weeks.
And then I'll watch it when it gets into like the medal.
Cheering for the Canadians.
Do you know the cheapest ticket for the World Cup
I
final?
heard about this today.
the final. Or
Well,
just
this
for
was
a
the
match?
cheapest ticket a week ago.
This is for
The final match.
the-
You know what the cheap?
$1,000.
Huh?
$1,000.
12 grand.
10 grand. I would if it was $1,000, my ass would have been in
I
a
heard
seat.
people are complaining just overall tickets are like between $1,600 and $47,000.
Yep.
And they're like, this isn't, I mean, it's kind of, soccer is kind of like a people's sport. It's not, I know it's because it's played by everybody. And then to have it where nobody can afford the tickets because they're so expensive. It's like, oh,
For $47,000, you could have been on Felix Rosenquist's helmet for the Indianapolis 500.
heck yeah.
So
And they would have flown you in on a helicopter and landed you on the golf course and then golf carted you to your suite.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah.
you could have said hello to somebody we all know.
With an open bar and whatever food you wanted.
Is the World Cup the finals at SoFi Stadium? Correct?
No,
It's
in New York,
Oh,
East
it's-
Rutherford.
Okay. I thought it was in LA for some reason.
Nope.
So that's still the stadium holds 75,000.
Yeah.
Yep.
At 12 grand a pop. That's some. pretty
Yeah, but
good
that's
money.
the thing. Not-
Those are
not every-
secondary market prices, I assume, right?
Yeah.
The FIFA is also like screwed with the pricing.
I'm gonna say, well, any of
They've
those,
screwed up with they forced the hand of the Metro. Like they're taking a $2 subway ticket or whatever it is, and they're taking like to like $150 to ride the Jersey Transit line from Manhattan out to the game. Like they're completely bending people over in every which way possible.
they sound like, I'm guessing that FIFA and the IOC are both just really good. They're really
The
good
most
extorting.
corrupt organizations.
Yes, they're horrible. And it's probably after the United States paid them a truck ton of money to host things.
So basically, the corrupt organizations, IOC, FIFA, Indiana Secretary of State.
And the United States of America.
Yeah.
They will be referring to that stadium as New York, New Jersey Stadium and removing all of the sponsorship signage from the building.
Because those people won't pay FIFA.
It's listed as 82,500 people in the
So
stands.
are we covering up MetLife?
They're taking it all down.
I wonder what that cost.
They were going to charge $150 a ticket, New Jersey Transit was, but because of sponsorship and other funds, they're benevolent and they're going to go down to $105 a ticket to get out there. It's normally like $8.
Then you got $30 beer, $25 bag of chips. This is going to be this is going to be fun soccer or football or.
NBA Finals, the New York Knicks are going to win their first NBA championship. I'm putting it out there now. since like 1970 something.
Say that again.
The Knicks are going to win. I was cheering for the New York Dog.
Is this the Winnipeg conversation all over again?
No, NBA Finals.
How did you think the Knicks are going to beat the Thunder or the Spurs?
Because
it's time.
They just beat the shit out of Cleveland.
Yeah.
dude,
4 games in a row.
Cleveland wasn't like,
It doesn't
I
matter.
don't care.
It doesn't
They're
matter.
not beating.
You get to the conference finals. It's the conference finals.
I understand.
You're
that.
not go. Will
It's their
someone
time.
look up the last time someone was swept in the conference finals, please?
Probably last year.
Sorry, I've taken over your show. I apologize.
That's fine. You should have an attitude. I've got no voice, so it's
Cleveland's
time.
dog shit.
The New York Dog got booed during the Weenie 500. I wanted to read this into the record, and I was cheering for it. I was an Alex Pillow fan, and I was a New York Dog fan. I was not the most popular fan at the Speedway over the weekend. Last year, the New York Dog was absolutely. They could have gotten pissed on by all the Pacer fans that were because we were playing the Knicks in the playoffs at the time. This time, the New York Dog did win. I think it's the Knicks time, man. I think it is.
I agree.
It's not.
I hate to say it, but it says the last time that the Celtics swept the Pacers in 24 and the Nuggets swept the Lakers in 23.
But no, this is for the finals.
The
Yeah.
finals or conference
Conference
finals.
finals.
That's what it says.
Yeah, the Pacers. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
made the
That's
conference
what-
finals and got swept.
It says
Yeah.
Eastern Conference Finals
Okay.
24. We got swept, and the year before
Yeah,
the
I'm losing track of
Nuggets
the years.
swept their way through in 23 over the Lakers.
All right, I guess it's not very. I don't watch.
So
the
one
NBA.
team, so one
It's a shit
team,
product.
one team a year gets swept.
It's a shit product. However,
It's funny. It's like, oh, every year one of them sweeps.
Listen, at this point, we're cheering for laundry, as Jerry Seinfeld says, and the Spurs and the Thunder have had their championships this century. Give my Uncle Gary, who's 65 years old, his damn Knicks championship. For the
No,
love of God.
This is like a Dallas
For the
Super
love
Bowl.
of God.
no,
It's time.
No,
Yes, it is.
It's time.
It's time for
No,
them.
it's not.
You
It
will
is not
not.
time for New York to win a championship. It's not time for Dallas to win a Super Bowl.
Okay, no one even brought up Dallas besides you.
I'm just saying they all mingle together.
Listen, you will never find a New York sports team hater more than me. And anyone that knows me can attest to that. It's time. Brunson deserves one. Hart deserves one. Towns deserves ones. Mikal Bridges.
no,
Even
you don't
Reggie Miller would say it's time for the damn Knicks to win a championship.
Yeah, I mean, it's time.
You don't deserve anything. You work for it,
And
if
they
you-
have.
Yeah.
It's time for
No.
that fan base.
No, Carl Anthony
Oh,
Towns.
piss on the fan base. What do you mean?
No.
I don't give two rats ass about the fan base.
No.
You just pissed all
Spike
over
Lee
Uncle
can
Gary.
have another year
sorry, Uncle
of
Gary.
what ifs.
Jeremiah is lying though. The New York Dog got booed, and I think he kind of acted like a dick in his interview just to like be the New York guy. That was, for people.
For being pro wrestling, I can't believe they orchestrated that the New York Dog would win the Weenie 500.
Man, I don't want to, but if
Someone threw a hell of a block in
so, if I'm recalling right, and I don't want to say it was a shorter product, the Weenie 500 pulled better ratings than Indy 500, did it not?
No, the Weenie 500 had like 700,000 viewers live. The Indy 500 had like 6 million.
Okay, never mind. Yeah,
6.6.
Yeah.
my brain was moving to decimal point, but yeah, it pulled a lot of people.
That's earth shattering to me.
You know what? You know
It's
what's
2 o'clock on a Friday
you know
afternoon.
what's even more
3/4 of a
shattering?
million people watched
Go to
it.
the race.
Yeah.
And go to the Weenie 500 and see how into it those
There were
fans are.
The stand was full. Like
There-
there was no
They were
empty
selling
seats.
race jackets and shirts and hats and all. I mean, people were buying those. I don't know how much the jackets were. They had to be
$100.
Yes, $125. There were dozens of them.
One of them still parked at the airport hotel.
You're
Right
really?
on 465. Yeah, you can see it from the road.
Yeah, and there was a nasty block on turn one and about put the Seattle Dog into the inside wall. And it looked like those people were panicking because I don't think that thing's made to do what it did.
Just freaking roll a hot dog and
Oh,
they'd have to bring a crane out to lift it back up.
But for as well as attended the 500 is, the viewership is just unbelievably low.
yeah, it
was okay.
It was down to tick, I think, from last year.
It was
but-
down. It was very close to last year's number.
Yeah, it was close, but it was.
It's
Well-
also it's a tough. It's a day where people are not necessarily in front of their TVs. It's Sunday of Memorial Day weekend, so it's going to do well. It's going to be the biggest thing on, and it's the most watched motorsports race in North America all year. But it's still a tough day. If you could run the Indy 500 on February, assuming you're not facing the NBA or something else, if it was a cold day in February, then yeah, you're going to do better. But when you're talking about the kickoff weekend, there's a shit ton of people that are out at the lake or at the pool and not watching TV on Memorial
I wonder
Day
what
Sunday.
the radio numbers are, though.
They're great. I think the radio number is phenomenal.
Probably surpasses. You think it surpasses television numbers?
Don't have that. I know that the radio broadcast does very, very well.
I'm just saying, because for as much doom and gloom there is in horse racing, which is my subject more than your guys's, the Kentucky Derby had 18 million this year.
Yeah.
How long is the Kentucky Derby?
I mean, it's going on all day.
Right, well, but are people watching all day though?
I
think people tune in for the actual thing, and I bet that's a rating spike for whatever it is, 2 minutes.
And that was the average. The Indy 500. It did not do 18 million people, but there was a spike at the
It was
end
like
of the
almost
race.
9.
Let me grab it here.
8.6.
It's still kind of fascinating to me
Yeah.
that the Derby did that so well, and then the Indy 500, which is kind of a bigger deal around here, at least.
Yeah.
That
8.3 million in the 4 to 4:15 window, which is when it was over. As a series, they are up 9.7% for the year on the first 7 races, averaging, with that one in there, averaging 2.3 million viewers per race.
I mean, it is an event and a sport that shot itself in the head, point blank, with like a shotgun in 1996. And so it's still trying to come back from that. And then at the same time, NASCAR kind of took its thunder for a while. So, and now we're in a fragmented society where it's really hard to get people to tune into something, especially if somebody said, hey, do we need to make this thing longer? It's over pretty quick. Like, no, our attention spans aren't long enough for NASCAR races at this point. So the in-person atmosphere is fantastic. And if they can roll with that, they're probably going to be pretty happy.
I only had to pee once.
So I'm going to take over this subject just for a little bit. Me and Ian are both in the golf, and they have the PGA and LIV going on right now.
You've got your own little split going.
LIV's about dead. What were the lines for IndyCar and kart, or what was it? Was everybody like Team Kart, or were we like, or the other team? What was the other?
IRL.
Team
IRL.
Indy Racing League.
So, yeah.
So is the IRL the original, the OG, like the PGA?
So like
this is so complicated.
Kart was LIV.
Kart was actually what was existing at the time, and then and not to get into the politics of it, when they finally broke off, then IndyCar completely changed its formula and went to these kind of ugly, kind of janky, kind of slow cars that made things safer. And so the lineage of the actual cars that were being driven was Champ Car, and then IRL turned into its own thing, and then they have kind of Champ Car eventually died, and IndyCar has kept evolving its car to where it's still not really. I mean, it looks like what Champ Car is running is kind of similar, but we're at this point we're in a car that has its own lineage. It's like a cousin to what was being driven in the 90s.
So Kart broke off from Indy.
Yes.
Here's what happened.
But they took their cars and the teams with them. Mostly.
The sanctioning body in the 1970s was called USAC, United States Auto Club. And the car owners in like 1978 formed their own rival sanctioning body, Championship Auto Racing, Champ Car or Kart, Championship Auto Racing teams. And they coexisted somewhat peacefully from like 1979 through the early 90s. As a series, they were doing really, really, really well. To the point where in 1993, the reigning F1 champion Nigel Mansell left Formula One and came to America to compete in IndyCar, which was the trade name that was used, but it was licensed by there's a whole book John Oryovitz wrote about this called The Split. John's a guest to the show and wrote like the Bible on this thing. But there was this massive split that happened that really started in the 70s. And then in 1994, Tony George, who is the grandson of Tony Holman, who brought the Speedway back out of World War II, and it stayed in his family. He formed the IRL, the Indy Racing League. And they tried to have a bit of a protectionist situation, which is why this giant split happened, where he said there would be 25 spots reserved. Sounds so familiar today. there would be 25 spots reserved for the IRL teams. So if you ran the full IRL schedule, the top 25 slots in the race would belong to that, and then 8 would be open to anybody else that wanted to join. So if a Champ Car team or anybody that just wanted to build a car wanted to come to the Indy 500, they could do it. That led to the Champ Car owners saying, "The hell with this! We're holding a competing race on the same day at the same time in Michigan at Roger Penske Speedway." Total disaster of a race. All the cars wrecked on the first lap. It was a total cluster. They then fought against each other from 96 until ultimately Champ Car died in 2008. By 2000, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway had pretty well won the war, but they both had casualties that were so bad that both series were massively diminished. So 2000 to 2008 was just both series continuing to struggle more and more and more. And that's what's happening to golf, where you have money on one side, historic venues, and the PGA is the old money, stuff, and then you got the Saudi money that's bringing all these people in, but the product's probably not as good.
Yeah,
that's
now the
happening.
Saudi money's out of it,
right?
Yeah. So I was curious.
So at the time, Indianapolis, the IRL was an inferior product, but they had the place everybody wanted to be, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And Champ Car had the stars and cars.
So either one of you at this point in time, were you IRL or were you kart?
I was more IRL, but it was.
I think my dad watched both. I mean, I was a kid at the time. I was like, what was I, 15 at the time?
1996. Yeah, I'm 13 years old.
And like, we still went to the 500, and then you kind of figured out that, and a lot of these owners are still around. Penske, and who ultimately bought the Speedway and the series, and the Chip Ganassi, like that league kind of ran itself into the ground because they were so arrogant about how good they were and how important they were and how much money they had, that all of a sudden like tobacco money went away because of legal issues and stuff, that they couldn't sustain it.
Because I'm a person that consumes a lot of golf from a variety of organizations. I have never watched one shot from Live.
Yeah. I think that if they would all sat down and like talked about it and hashed it out and not had a bunch of hubris over it, they probably we'd be in a very different motorsports world today. Because at the time they did it at just the right time that NASCAR was kind of getting popular. Jeff Gordon came through, and that diverted a lot of oval talent. At the time, USAC, the open wheel ladder, like sprints, midgets, Silver Crown, all that stuff fed into IndyCar, and now that stuff feeds into NASCAR. And that kind of shifted things as well. There's a lot. You could write, like John Horowitz wrote a book, and then you could probably, I don't know if his book covers it, I haven't read it yet, but you could probably also cover the stuff that's going on elsewhere in motorsports that also fed into this whole thing happening.
Yeah, it's a fascinating mess.
I just didn't know if one of you were team IRL or team kart.
My house was not one or the other.
Okay.
There were some people that are still bitter. I mean, you can talk to some people.
There are still drivers, and they're the older guys now, but there are still guys that were IRL side or Champ Car side.
I mean, there's people on Live that I will not have any. I won't even.
I mean, it's hilarious how, like, you talked about the smoke replacing the balloons. There's people mad about the balloons. There's still people mad about. I saw an interesting realization that somebody had. They're like, "Hey, I was looking back at race statistics. I'm shocked that, like, prior to such and such a year, it was a rarity for more than 10 cars to be on the lead lap at the end of the Indy 500. I'm like, oh yeah, they just don't want to talk about that. They want to talk about times there's cars broke down and they were the only car on the lead lap. They have lapped the field. And so people have a lot of rose-colored glasses by back in the day. Champ Car was crazy though. They raced all over the world, Germany, Europe, Australia. They're all over the place and unstoppable for a bit.
Interesting.
The IndyCar calendar you have now is very similar in what they're trying to do is what they were trying to do when they were at their peak, and they ran about 17, 18 races a year, and they had a couple of international races, and they were about a 50-50, 60-40 split, road courses, street courses. IRL tried to go entirely ovals, which didn't really work as well either, and there's not that many oval venues that are safe for Indy cars. There's not as many of them. So they also tried to race on a bunch of NASCAR tracks and kept having these horrific accidents. Charlotte, Atlanta,
tires into the stands.
Yeah, they had massive safety issues. There was a Texas race that had to be canceled that Champ Car ran because the drivers had so many G forces with the cars they were running. that they were blacking out driving the cars. So yeah.
And I have one
Fascinating.
last question to hijack
Yep.
back. So I always remember growing up that the whole month of May was Indianapolis, the 500.
Yes.
When did the Grand Prix kind of come into play?
2014.
And
Yeah.
they never had anything right there anyways, right?
No, it was that
was the first weekend of qualifying.
opening weekend of qualifying, and it used to back in the day, May 1st, track open, stuff started happening, and then they weren't doing at that point. They weren't doing qualifying. They're just doing opening day of practice, and they had a car show and everything. And what I'd always heard was that the last year or two before they brought the Grand Prix in, that they literally had somewhere south of 5,000 people show up, and like, oh, we need to get more people here. So they brought in the Grand Prix, which, and it's still, I mean, it's interesting. Qualifications, it was consolidated a bit because of the rain. There was a crowd, and it is more stressful to get parked for camping and getting in and out of track for qualifications weekend than it is for Grand Prix weekend. But the Grand Prix is still entertaining to watch. So
You can feel, we'll wrap the show up here today, I guess. You can feel that the IndyCar series and the Indy 500 has got buzz again, and it's getting busier, and you see more people in mainstream that are talking about it and caring about it.
there were like quite a few like YouTube influencer type people, and I heard that Rossi said the same thing at the race. And my brother ran into a guy that we listened to his podcast, and he's been a YouTuber for years. I saw some other ones that are popular that were at the track, and I don't know if they were advertising they were at the track, but they were there because it was a place to be, which is good.
I'm still not going as an influencer. I'm going as a guy that hangs out in lot 6 with
Yeah.
his friends and family. Final thoughts, Mr. Ian?
Yeah, I got a couple.
All
right. One of the better things that I've done was listen to you, my very first episode, whenever you started talking about IndyCar. And I would honestly put, with my first time being at the race, watching it live, I would put it up there with Game 6 of the NBA Finals. I mean, it was a monumental thing. Like, I probably will not miss another one.
Yeah.
Or at least attempt not to. And then the second thing,
This was 21. If we count our pass, I think this is my 21st in person.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
I saw a dude that had a sign that says I'm 100 and this is my 85th.
Yeah.
Indianapolis 500.
People print up t-shirts, old guys. They're like, this is my
and they start
65th.
taping new numbers of the old numbers
because they're cheap.
Yeah, they want to make another.
It's just crazy. Have you ever went?
No.
You need to go.
He's coming next year.
You got to go. You have to.
You can sit with Zach.
I had 2 extra tickets this year. Just ate them.
You should have went. I'll never miss another one.
No,
And they're good
I should
seats.
not have went.
They're good seats.
Bones had a very big day that weekend. Okay, Bones was not going to the race.
I don't remember what my second thing was.
It's all right. If you think of something, you come back to it.
Yeah.
Zach?
I don't know what day it is. I'm still recovering. I'm still tired. We had I guess a homeless guy sit next to me the last night at the track. Still have
Zach is such an elitist. He's like, this is Coke lot shit. This is not lot 6.
Okay. So yes. Yes. So I'm going to describe to people what happened. Apparently, Saturday night we wake up and there's somebody talking outside our bedroom window of our camper. There's not anybody next to us. We have a camper that's on your 20 by 40 sites. There's an empty site with cars parked on it, and then there's another camper. It's facing the other direction. They are not a bother. They've been our neighbors for years. I'm
showing a picture.
So some point Saturday,
cleaning
somebody rolled over in a little rug. They had I'm not even saying an upholstered chair. It's like a chair that's round and a quarter of it has a back on it, but it is fully upholstered. A rug, a sweeper.
It's like a 30-year-old chair.
Yeah, 30-year-old chair.
This chair is straight 1985.
Yes, your grandma had this chair.
Oh, for sure.
And
everyone's grandma has this chair in their
this
house
random
right
chair,
now.
a little rug, a sweeper. We're in a grass lot. There's no electricity where we're at.
Quick
and
question.
then a Keurig or something.
Where did we plug in the Keurig and the sweeper?
No
at?
idea. No idea.
Probably
Okay.
plugged
Context
into the
is so
neighbor's
bizarre.
generator.
So then at some point during the day on race, so my wife slams our window closed, and they realize that they shouldn't be talking at 3 a.m. outside somebody's window. So then during the day, at some point, a car rolls up.
This was
I
on
think.
Saturday night before the race.
Saturday night before the race. So then Sunday, the rug and some other stuff disappears, but the chair remains, and the sweeper, and a suitcase. There's also an ottoman that disappeared.
So they
So
brought the whole supply.
there was a whole thing. It was a random thing.
I thought this was somebody. I noticed it because it was like in front of the porta potties next to Zach's camper.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, somebody's brought the whole living room outside in their camp.
Saturday, he woke us up at like 3 a.m. Sunday, we have this nice chill evening. I don't have to be there. I could have left. I'm like, I'm gonna have a nice peaceful night at the track. We're gonna get up. We're gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go home for the parade in Newcastle. And at like 3 o'clock in the morning, I hear this crazy sound, which I think was this guy's. So I go to put water jug in my camper, and I realized it's on that side of the trailer. There's a dude laying there. So the guy's pulled the cushion off this chair, and he's curled up in the fetal position on the ground
Next to your camper.
next to my camper.
The cushion was his blanket.
The cushion was his bit mattress.
Oh, okay.
So he's laying on it. But, and I'm not, yes, elitist, whatever. This is a lot that doesn't allow tents, let alone people just sleeping on the ground. He starts making this crazy sound that was almost, it was like his version of a snore, but it was like a wolf or howling. And it was over and over again with very consistent tone or whatever, like this ooh, over and over again. He woke up me, woke up my wife, and woke up my son. And they're all just closing the windows because they're scared. I'm like, what the heck is this? I don't know if he's having a mental issue or what's going on. Never did really get dealt with. I even called the non-emergency line for Speedway. She's not happy with me for calling. She's like, did you talk to him? Like, no, I'm not talking to some rando guy sleeping on a seat cushion in the track or in the track lot.
I don't have hobo stab insurance, ma'am.
So they sent track security who didn't do anything about it. And
could you moan quieter, sir?
Yeah, I don't know. He stopped for a bit and he'd start back up. Everybody else heard it. In my defense, my uncle heard it, who was another side away. And then some guys that camp across in a school bus heard it. And then the other people heard it. And they were all like, I don't know what was going on with that guy, but he was looking for a light this morning. My uncle apparently on the way out said something about it to security because the trash guys came by and like, should we throw this in the trash? My uncle's like, yes, because he hadn't been around all morning. And the security guy was like, yeah, that's a kind of sad story. Okay, what was the sad story and why didn't you deal with it? So yeah, that was the end of my Speedway experience for the weekend. Was we had some guy just sleeping next to our camper making this crazy sound for like an hour and 15 minutes at a time. It was a good time.
Did we get to what was the story?
No, I never heard.
Oh.
And so what I really need to do is I know one of the security guys, but he ignored me when I texted him about this because this is the fun thing. Security at 6 o'clock on race night apparently is done.
They're done.
They're
Contract's
done.
up.
Contract's up. They're good to go. So, which is a little bit sketchy. But I plan to have some interaction. There was some correspondence with the track about it.
We were trying to work through some stuff on Monday morning after the race and needed to talk to somebody that was in charge. Nobody was in charge. There was absolutely nobody in charge. There was a guy in it was very muddy on Thursday when we got there. And there was a guy in a Bobcat that like a Trax Cat kind of deal that was moving people around. And he was running around on Monday trying to help people leave. And he's like, I went up to him and like, hey, you're like the only person here. And he's like, dude, I had a radio Thursday and Friday. I had people telling me where to go. Today, they just said, yeah, you're on your own. Just wing it. Drive around, see if anybody wants help. If they flag you down, come help them. He's like, I have nobody. There's nobody in charge.
And Monday morning, there were dozens of campers still in the slot. And the Coke lot was the same way. Coke lot still had dozens and dozens of campers. So they're still easily thousands of people still living on Roger Penske's property, and there's nobody in charge. There's nobody to talk to.
They don't come back to work till May 1st next year.
Whatever the next race event is. But you have to be out by noon. So I would figure they want you, and they aren't enforcing that either, because I don't think that Jeremiah had a situation where he was moving some rigs and you didn't get him out before noon. It was like 2:30, wasn't it?
Not at all. Yeah.
Nobody cares. So
yeah,
just they've already got your money.
Final thoughts, Mr. Bones?
Not after that one, I don't. I mean, it's good to be back. Not really. No, it sucks to be back. I had to go to work. I sat on the beach all last week. Ate about 40 oysters. Yeah, this
feeling extra fertile.
A little bit. Thank God I was with family.
Okay. We'll be back Thursday next week, I think, unless we got canceled. Yeah.
We haven't yet. I don't think we're going to yet now.
No, this is great.
Ian, did you come up with your other thought?
No.
Okay.
But I will say, thank you for having me on. obviously.
Yeah. Thanks for having us on your program, Jeremiah.
No, you asked me if I had a final thought. It wasn't Bones thoughts.
Hey, how do we listen to the Playbook podcast?
It's available on Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Music. So any way you want to listen to it.
YouTube.
And a YouTube feed, but it's not under the Playbook podcast. You got to look under the other secret.
Yeah, you got to look under Out of Bounds Sports Productions,
which makes total sense.
It's all a shell game. Okay,
it's a shell. It's a shell corporation of Ian Core.
All traces back to Bermuda.
All right. Kirkwood's going to win this weekend in Detroit. We'll see you guys next Thursday.